I did it. After 5 years of trying, I got 9 out of 9 in my AFL tips. So we're going to see if I can do it again. I probably can't. Let's go. What a time to be alive. I did it. 9 out of 9. We're going to see how I did it. There was probably 2 games that went my way. So let's work out which ones. Now, Thursday 31st, Western Bulldogs versus Giants. Well, I did Western Bulldogs to win. I thought it would be a lot closer. However, it was an absolute mauling, which makes me more angry that we lose to Giants, Swans that is, and then they get absolutely rolled over. It just shows they're a one-man team. I'm sorry, they're a one-man bloody team. But 1 point for the win, and well done to Western Bulldogs. A very, very big win for them, for sure, for that top 8 chance that they're trying to get. Next on Friday, it was Crows versus Hawthorn. Once again, I got it correct. So this was so the first game, 53% got it right. The second game, 83% got it right. So this was, okay, still could have gone the wrong way. Crows, they did the job at home. This season, they certainly are a different beast at home, and that puts them top of the league. Unbelievable. Collingwood have been knocked off, and Adelaide are top of the league. Very, very good. Also got a close score, so extra 0.5 as well. Hawthorn slipping down to 7th, not guaranteed anymore. Then it was on Saturday, D's versus Eagles. Got it correct. I did Melbourne to win by 20. I thought, look, I know some teams have absolutely trounced Eagles, but these haven't exactly been performing themselves. They did a lot better than thought. They won by 83, so 1 point for the win there as well. Then, next was Gold Coast Suns versus Richmond, 23. That is so painful. Oh my God, imagine only getting 20. That's got to be a record worse. That is, in the comments, tell me that's got to be up there for the worst score in AFL history. But I did Gold Coast win by 75. They won by 84. I get that close score, 0.5. Again, very, very good for Gold Coast. Then Sydney versus Essendon. Our season's done, so it doesn't really matter. But we did win that game. I thought we could actually maybe win by a lot more. We didn't. Look, we won by 14. That's enough. It doesn't make any difference now. 1 point for the win. Next, Collingwood versus Brisbane. I went the way of Brisbane. Thought it would be closer than it was. Collingwood are very much losing finals form, aren't they? This is a bad time for Collingwood to be dropping. But they are. I did Brisbane by 6. They won by 27, so 1 point. That one, only 19% of people went for Brisbane, and I was in that 19, so very, very happy with that. Then it was Saints versus North. Look, Saints have been awful. North have been awful. But on paper, Saints should get the job done, and they did. I did Saints to win by 22. They won by 9. 1 point for the win. Fine. No need to talk about that anymore. Then Geelong versus Port. I did Geelong by 40. They won by 88. Unbelievable. Port, down and out now. Geelong, that puts them in 4th place. They're doing okay. They are doing okay. 1 point for the win. And then the final game was Freo versus Carlton. I thought Freo could have got closer to the 40 mark. But they did win at home. They are doing really, really well. That puts them up to 5th. I would say Freo are probably in the top 8 now. I think from 5th place up now, that's almost secure. Even a draw will probably do the job now, I expect. But yeah, they probably are pretty much done. I get 1 point for that win. And the leaderboard after that round, it's so annoying that I got that 9 out of 9 because it's like my worst season in the 4 seasons I've been doing it. It's gutting. But let's see the top 10 at least here. So Aussie Dylan still number 1, over 10 points clear now. That is going to be bloody hard to knock him off. Hazard moves up to second, up 1. Vam H up 1 to 3rd. Jaden Saints is down 2 to 4th. The Golden Hat, though, I think got half a point extra, so must have got 1 extra half a point than me. Goes to Lions 2025, up 6 places, breaking into the top 10. Red Dragon stays in 6th. Yin down 2 to 7th. Rhymeister up 9 places. Wow. Also breaking into the top 10 into 8th. Magpie Poorly down 1 and Stinky Pinky down 1. And obviously Guru also drops out of the top 10, dropping down 4. So that is the top 10 this week. It is changing quite a lot. Very good for Lions and Rhymeister to break into it as well. Okay, let's see some big movers. DJD down 7. Tom's here now down 10 to 25th. That's a big drop at this stage. Think Outside the Square is up 9. That's pretty good. Up 13 is Navy Gravy. Very, very good. Where am I? That's the question. Jackson's down 7. Not had quite the same year as he did 2 years ago. Keeping going down. Not big movers. Beauregard up 9. Keep going. I have broken into the top 100. I am up 5 places to 95th. It's still going to be very difficult for me to go any higher. What am I on? So I'm on 135 exactly. Wow. Have I literally no one's on an exact number? Let's see. So potentially up to 85th if I, 80 odd if I do well. Okay, let's see if there's any other big movers. The Wooden Spoon goes to Brew Goat, down 4, 107th Wooden Spoon, unlucky. Ballistic down 6. Let's see where everyone else has finished. Look out for your name. There you go. So on to round 22, and we start on Thursday the 7th. MCG Hawthorn versus Collingwood. Pretty similar form. Collingwood are dropping a little bit more from where they were miles ahead. Me saying weeks ago they probably don't need to win. Well, actually, that is slightly changing. They could drop out the top 4 if they're not careful here. So you've got a Hawthorn team who, they're still fighting for that top 8 spot. They could make top 4 still. But Hawks are missing players such as Will Day. He's obviously got a season-ending foot injury, which is not good. Which certainly affects their on-the-ball ability for sure. Magpies are eager to rebound. They've got to try and rebound, from a bit of a slump in form. And they've got to try and keep that top 4 spot, don't they? They've got to keep that top 4 spot. I think, I don't know, surely Collingwood can't drop anymore, can they? Can they? Because it's high stakes now. If they lose now, they've got potentially teams, 3 or 4 teams waiting to overlap them. What do we go for? Do you know what? I can't see Collingwood slipping up again. We've said this before about how Hawthorn potentially not quite as dangerous against what we class as the top sides of this season. So maybe that then is going a little bit more for Collingwood. So let's go Collingwood by 10. Let's try that. Okay, next game, Friday the 8th at the Litter Tray. Geelong versus Essendon. Easy win for Geelong, surely. The Cats, overwhelming favourites, as they should be, reflecting their dominance at the old Litter Tray. They did lose one. There. Geelong enter just full of confidence after thumping win in their last match. Essendon, they're underdogs. There's a reason they're underdogs. They will stay underdogs, and they will stay under with what should be a depleted lineup. Lack of consistency, and when I say lack of consistency, that's an understatement. I don't need to say much more. Geelong to win here. Geelong should win convincingly. Geelong to win by 48. Yeah. Next on Saturday night, MCG, Richmond versus Saints. Very similar form in sense of the last 7 games. But Richmond, they managed 2 goals. 2 goals last week. In just embarrassed. That is, as I said, I'm sure that's got to be some sort of record, doesn't it? They're against Saints, who they will be without Mitch Owens, but still probably healthier, more form in front of goal. Like I said, it's crazy because you've got 14th versus 16th, and should be no chance for Richmond now with the way they played last week, but who knows? That has been what's crazy sometimes about this season. Results can come from anywhere. But on paper here, Saints to win by 46. Let's do that. Okay, next, Gabba, Brisbane versus Swans. Now, look, this is almost identical form as well. Our season is done. Whereas Brisbane, they are still trying to keep in the top 4. They've got Geelong and Freo behind them, are only 2 points behind. So they do still need the results after that brilliant win against Collingwood. Brisbane, you always say, formidable at the Gabba, which is mostly true. With that huge win against Collingwood, they are going to be really, really kind of building in confidence, ready for finals for sure. We've been, I wouldn't say inconsistent recently, but we should have won against GWS a couple of weeks ago. We were the most dominant team in the first half and then just didn't come out of the change rooms for the second half. But we could have won that easily and just still had a very slim chance. But we're playing without any fear at the moment because we've got nothing to play for, nothing to lose. It's a difficult one. The Lions do lose Ryan Lester as well from concussion last week, but they do have a strong attacking firepower. Is this a week I go against the Swans? Do I do it? Do I go against the Swans? Which is not something I really do, is it? I think I went against them like once this season. Oh man, head heart. Oh my God, I don't like this. I do not like going against Swans. Our form isn't that bad. Our form is pretty decent. We've beaten Freo, for Christ's sake. We beat Freo. Screw it. Swans to win by 6. People will be like, you absolute idiot. Swans by 6. Next, Marvel. Carlton versus Gold Coast. Carlton have just flopped, haven't they? They have flopped. Gold Coast, we thought they may be slipping, but they pulled it around for sure. They are in decent form now for finals. They slim chance of top 4, but it's more looking like definitely top 8. Probably one more win is probably enough. Carlton woes just continue, growing injury list. Harry O'Farrell suffered a suspected ACL, which is not good. You can't say that's good for anyone. They already have a shaky defence. It's going to get worse. Suns, they're pretty much near full strength, to be fair, with Tuke Miller is back from injury as well, and they're pushing hard for the final spot. I don't think I need to say much more other than what the score is going to be for Gold Coast. They're coming down to Victoria, coming to Melbourne, but they should be good enough for a 40-point win. Next, at the Oval, Port versus Freo. Wow, who would have thought this? Even at home, I'm not sure about Port here because they fell apart, didn't they? They had a chance top 8 and lost it against a Freo side who that one loss was against Swans. It's crazy. They are doing really, really well. One of the best forms in the league. Dockers, they're riding high after that 4-game win, aren't they? Win streak. And serious momentum into finals. That's what you want. You want the form going into the finals. Port Adelaide, they were absolutely flogged by 88 points last week, weren't they? It was shocking. Absolutely shocking. And I think that highlights them big slump and missing those key players that they are. Freo, they got Hayden Young out, but could regain Nat Fyfe to boost their experience. So they should win this. Freo by 27. I'm taking into account that they are away from home. Next, Manuka Oval. I know you're going to say it's not called Manuka Oval. Let's just call it Canberra Oval. I can't remember how you want me to pronounce it, but I'm going to pronounce it like the honey. Giants versus North. Giants, that was really, really was just a shock last week because they didn't have Toby Green. It seems like Toby Green is their They need Toby Green to get results. If they don't have him, they don't get the results. But he is back from suspension, and that means they should win, basically, right? After what I'm saying. They will be massively favourites. They're fighting for the top 8 as well. They've got Western Bulldogs behind them by 4 points. So you one slip up now, could go all wrong. Could go all wrong for anywhere really from the 6th to 8th spot. Even if, obviously Western, if Bulldogs, if they don't make the win, then they're almost done. But yeah, North have struggled all season. Toby Green back should be a win for Giants. Let's do a win by 36 for Giants. Next, penultimate game of the week, MCG Demons versus Dogs. Obviously, Melbourne won last week, but it was against West Coast. Doesn't say much. Sorry. But the Dogs are doing all right now. They're doing okay. Couple of wins in the last. They need the wins for the top 8. They are, poised. If anyone slips up, they are back in it there. But they do obviously still have to win. They're against a D's side who has been more than inconsistent. 7 wins, 13 losses. That's not good enough compared to how Melbourne have been in the last few seasons, for sure. I don't know. They've blown big leads, D's. They've only really beat the bottom teams, and that's not a good sign. That is not a good sign. With players such as Aaron Norton and Sam Darcy, they're in imposing form and should certainly stretch the opposition. So, Dogs here. Dogs by 20. And the last game, Optus, West Coast, bottom of the table versus Adelaide Crows, top of the table. This is a one-way traffic, right? This has got to be one-way traffic. Adelaide now sitting top of the table. Just huge for them. They will be fully motivated, in incredible form. West Coast injury crisis they've got with Harley Reid done for the season. And they're just undermanned in all positions, really. Crows, they've been ruthless, and they should be ruthless again at the Optus. So, Adelaide by 80. So, that is week, round, whatever you want to call it, 22 done. Yeah, I think there's a lot of easier ones to call this week for sure. Like Adelaide should beat West Coast. You've got Geelong should beat Essendon. Saints probably should beat Richmond. The tough ones probably are Hawthorn Collingwood. That should be a tough one. Even, as I said, Brisbane, Sydney. You can't count out Sydney. You really can't. We've proven we can beat some of these big teams. So we will see how it goes. But thank you so much once again for watching all the socials down there. And I will catch you next week.